സോഷ്യലിസ്റ്റ് നേതാവും മാതൃഭൂമി മാനേജിംഗ് ഡയറക്ടറുമായിരുന്ന എം പി വീരേന്ദ്രകുമാറിന്റെ ജന്മദിനത്തിന്റെ ഭാഗമായി ഡൽഹിയിൽ എം പി വീരേന്ദ്രകുമാർ മെമ്മോറിയൽ പ്രഭാഷണം നടക്കുകയാണ്. യോഗേന്ദ്ര യാദവ്, എൻ കെ പ്രേമചന്ദ്രൻ എം പി തുടങ്ങിയവർ പങ്കെടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
And I can only wish and hope that the few exceptions that are left in this country can continue to keep the flame alive for democracy. If you look at the topic of my lecture today, you might imagine that I had decided this lecture last evening, because suddenly the topic has become so relevant. It is whether opposition from electoral politics to politics of resistance. And I did not decide it last night. It was decided 3 weeks ago. So what I'll do is the following. First of all, I'll sketch the larger frame of what's happening to democracy in our country. Why is it that we are talking of this electoral to resistance? Second, then I'll talk about the relevance of electoral politics, the limited relevance that electoral politics does have. Third, I will talk about what does it mean to do politics of resistance then. And finally, something I had not decided earlier, but I cannot conclude the lecture today without talking about what happened the day before yesterday in Delhi, because we have already seen a glimpse of that politics of resistance here. Okay, so part one. Why is it that I'm saying that opposition politics needs a paradigm shift? It is because democracy in our country has seen a paradigm shift. So the opposition has no choice but to adjust its strategy in order to fit in with the changing reality. Most of us in our speech and in our public conversation talk about democracy versus dictatorship. Now, this is not a very helpful distinction, because if you divide the world into democracy and dictatorship, it would be very, very hard to put many countries in the democracy basket anymore. I'm not sure if the US can be fitted into the democracy basket. And I felt so happy when I went to the US a few months ago. I said, earlier I used to feel very awkward. The last thing you want to go when you go abroad is to talk about problems in your own country. But I said, now I feel a sense of camaraderie. Okay, you also know what it means to go through government.
എം പി വീരേന്ദ്രകുമാറിന്റെ 90ാം ജന്മദിനത്തിന്റെ ഭാഗമായി ഡൽഹിയിലെ എം പി വീരേന്ദ്രകുമാർ മെമ്മോറിയൽ പ്രഭാഷണത്തിൽ സംസാരിക്കുകയായിരുന്നു യോഗേന്ദ്ര യാദവ്.